How many of you are ready to learn one of the best wealth creation skills of all time? Say, I am. All right, can y'all just give yourself a hand for being here? Well done. How awesome is Ashley? Y'all love her, yeah? Ashley is special. Okay, she is. But she's not that special. She wasn't given this success fairy dust that she has and y'all don't have. You know that, right? You understand that she doesn't have something that you don't have. There's one thing, as someone who it has been a privilege to coach Ashley. This girl is by far the most coachable girl I have ever met. Hello? Would it be okay with you if I kind of tell you a little bit about what it means to be coachable? Would that be okay? Say yes? Yes. Okay. So one of the things to not do, let's talk about what not to do. What not to do is to get defensive. The very first time my dad actually made a coaching statement to me in my business, he said, Macy, this was 9 years ago. He said, Macy, I've been watching you on Instagram. I'm so proud of you. But you're coming off a little bit ashamed to sell your offer, to talk about your offer. Of course. Me? No. I said, you are old. Okay? You don't know how this works. You're wrong. I'm right. I was so defensive. And another thing that how to not be coachable is to really fight for your limitations. It's really interesting. I'm a coach, so I coach people, and I'm like, hey, here's what you could do. And they're like, yeah, but I have small kids. Yeah, but my husband travels. Yeah, but I'm like, okay, listen, if you want to fight for your limitations, you can keep them. Keep them. I'm trying to help you, right? And then another thing to not do how to not be coachable is don't do what you're told. Sometimes people come into programs and they're like, this doesn't make sense to me. Anybody feel that way sometimes? Wave at me. Yeah, you're like, this doesn't make sense. Right. Because what you're doing isn't working. Correct. This is not supposed to make sense to you now because that's why you paid someone. It's to teach you something that you don't know today. So let's just flip it on its head and think about, okay, how do you be coachable? Number one, listen. This girl, Ashley, will be on Voxer and she's like, hey, if you see anything, will you just tell me? If there's anything that feels off or that you're not really sure, just tell me my blind side. She's the only one that has ever been like that for me as a client. Ask for advice. And I think also when it comes to listening, whenever someone gives you okay. So my dad tells me, he's like, hey, you're coming off defensive. I'm like, no. But whenever someone tells me some feedback like that, and my initial reaction is no, that's not true, just ask yourself, could that be true? Is there a shred of truth in that? It's people will be like, Macy, you're so intense. I'm like, no, I'm not. But then I'm like, wait, yeah, I am intense. Just ask yourself, could it potentially be true? Ask for advice and then also do what you're told. Buy in. Someone say buy in. Buy in. The worst thing you could do when you invest in a program is to walk in with this energy. Skeptical, side eye. You know what? I'm actually coming in here to see how this doesn't work. Y'all know what I'm talking about? I'm like, babe, you could just take that side eye energy into all in, and it would work. So just buy in. My motto for myself is okay, when I invest in a program, I do not question a single thing until it's over or till I complete it. Once I complete it, then I look back and I'm like, you know what? That was for me and that wasn't for me, and that's okay. So are y'all committed just to buy in and be coachable like Ashley? Say yes? Okay, cool. So speaking of buy-in, let's talk about the greatest wealth creation skill of all time. And that, my friends, is handling objections. Now, I want to talk about why handling objections is one of the greatest things that you can do is because it changes people's perspectives. It helps them uncover what is holding them back to be able to really experience a breakthrough. And one of the, truthfully, best things I can do is really change your perspective about objections. Does anyone feel kind of uncomfortable about them? Wave at me if you do. Wave them really high, let me see. Okay. So this is especially true with paid advertising because, so you're doing paid advertising, people are seeing your stuff, and then they actually enter into a conversation with you with an objection, right? It's not, you're like, what about hello? What about how are you? Just a little bit of warm up there. They're like, no, they're like, how much is it? How much time does this take? What's inside? And you're like, my name is Macy. So nice to meet you. Thank you so much. So like, you are specifically getting them like crazy. Do y'all feel that way? And so your ads, like you're doing your best that you can with your ad and your messaging, but you really can't control how they perceive what they're perceiving. And so they come at you with an objection. So I want you to be so excited about objections. I want you to be like, come on in, baby. Like, this is what I need right here. They are like, your keys to your kingdom are the objections, okay? So first of all, objections are buying signals. Someone say buying signals. What does this mean? That means someone wants it. This is good. The first thing my dad taught me was if someone does not have an objection, they are not interested. So when's the last time y'all been to a mall? It's been like a decade for me, but I have like such vivid memories of walking through the mall, and there's kiosks all in the middle, right? And there's always the guy with the straightener. Y'all know what I'm talking about? And he's like, can I straighten your hair for you? Can I straighten? And I would walk by, I'm like, man, there's no way. Like, Sephora's right there. I have to go past him. And my thought is always like, don't make eye contact. Whatever you do, don't make it. I'm just not interested. Like, my hair is naturally straight. I'm not a prospect. But if I was interested, what would I do? How hot does that thing get? Ooh, do you have any other colors? I saw a pink one time, and I see only a black. Do you have any pink ones back there? How long is the cord? Is it long? Those are objections, by the way. You know that, right? Those are objections. Like, I'm interested, so I'm showing an objection. So when someone has an objection, I want you to be like, oh, yes, I'm on the right track. They also really put you in control. Have y'all ever talked to somebody before and they are just talking about whatever they want to talk about? And they lost you a long time ago. Anybody? And it's like the lights are on, but nobody's home. He's not even realizing that he lost me. I'm saying, I just bought a car and I'm thinking about the salesman that I experienced. I'm like, he has totally lost me. But when you have the objection, you know exactly what to talk about. You know exactly what to change their perspective on, and you know that you can leave everything else in the dust. It doesn't matter because the only thing they care about is the objection that's in their head. So when you know what's in their mind, you have control. Someone say control. And lastly, objections make you better. So much better. I want you to think about, will you come up here for me? What's your name? Sam, you seem so excited. You seem so excited. Come on up, Sam. Give him a hand, everybody. Okay. Sam, I want you to act like your back hurts. Like, oh my God, my back hurts. Okay. So, listen, everybody. Am I putting this on? Yeah, both sides, please. Okay. Everybody is walking around like this. Turn to the sign for me, Sam. Yeah. They have like this backpack, metaphorically, an invisible backpack, and it is heavy. It is full of rocks. These rocks are beliefs, false beliefs, Sam. They're identities that you used to carry. They're past failures, they're past experiences, and they are literally weighing him down. And this backpack is what's keeping him from running. And so when you can handle objections, look what you get to do. Sam, I'm your partner here. We're partners. Here, let me take this off for you. Let's just like take inventory here. Someone say inventory. And we're just gonna open this backpack and just look at this like past failure that you had. Like, who put this in there? Did someone tell you something? Did someone make you believe something that wasn't true? Do you have like a low, like what is this doing here? Okay, well, Sam, what about, I know you say, are you a dad? Yeah. Okay, you're a dad, and you're just like, so how many kids do you have? Yeah, you have 2 kids, you're busy, and you think, someone told you that you can't be successful as a dad. Who told you that? So we're just kind of taking them out, and we're taking inventory and deciding, hey, do you want to keep this carrying around with you or not? We don't, right? So can you see, thank you, Sam, give him a hand. Can you see how valuable it is to be this for somebody? That you are literally lifting the weight off of their back where they see life in a totally different way that they actually want to move forward in. How cool is that? Can y'all imagine like being able to do this for your kids? Like imagine someone like tells your kid, oh my gosh, I will cry, I'm hormonal, obviously. Someone tells your kid, you're dumb, and it's like a rock in his back. He's like, Mom, someone told me I'm dumb, I can't do this. I can't make the varsity team, I'm not gonna start. And you have the skill set to come and take this back off of him and say, hey, let's like talk about this and get it out of here, because it is just not true. Really cool, right? Do any of you have people that buy programs that, or buy your offer or whatever and don't use it? Wave at me if that's you. You know it's because of this, right? It's not your program that's wrong. It's not your offer that's wrong. It's just new. Someone once told me that people have a hard time, changing their lives and changing their belief system and getting rid of these rocks, not because it isn't true, but because it's new. And people have a very hard time wrapping their minds around new belief systems. People will do everything to fight for their own belief system, to fight for their limitations. So if you're a coach or any kind of someone that if someone has to buy your offer and actually execute with it, your ability to handle objections is your ability to help people transform. And I know that y'all want to transform, yes? I had a mentor one time, Casey Graham. He, serial entrepreneur, would buy and sell businesses, and he said, Macy, every time I start a business, the first thing I do is I don't do a single thing until I handle objections until I hit $1 million in sales. That's all I do. Because if I can handle objections, if I can know what's in the way, it's over. My messaging is better, my marketing is better, my ads are better. Like I know exactly I'm in control when I know and I can handle their objections. I heard a story of a guy that he sold his company for like $900 million, insane, right? Then he bought another company. It was like a membership company that he bought. The first thing he did, $900 million he sold his company for. The first thing he did was he got on sales calls. And he put a hurdle in the offer so big that people had to give him an objection. So the membership was like $97. And then he would get on calls with people and he would say, hey, by the way, your sign-up fee, it's actually $10,000. And they're like, whoa, no. He's like, okay, why? Why isn't it worth that $10,000 sign-up? And then he would uncover the objections so that he had control and he knew exactly how to go and market later. So if he sees handling objections and getting on sales calls as valuable, can you see that? Can you all agree that it's valuable? Yes? Okay. So are y'all like, you're in, right? You're in on objections, you're ready to like focus and you know that they're important, right? Say yes? Okay. So one of the ways that can really help you kind of transition and get way more enthusiastic about objections is to decide what you want to make them mean. You can, literally, you can make them mean anything you want them to mean. So for example, here's how I want you to think about this. Let's say you got this objection right here. My schedule is really full right now. I can't do this, my schedule's so full. What would you think about that? I'll tell you what some of my students would have thought, come before they work with me. They would have thought, I need to change my program. Oh man, mine might not be as valuable for someone to move their schedule around. Maybe something's wrong with me. How many of you would have maybe thought that and made it about you? Wave at me, anybody? A little bit, yeah? Okay, you can totally change the narrative. Here's what I would make it mean. I would say, oh, this is perfect for them because the people who have the busiest schedules actually do the best in my program. That's actually true. They say, if you want to get something done, give it to someone busy. So you get to be excited that their objection is actually the very reason that this program is perfect for them. I made one for Ashley. Let's say someone said, oh my gosh, I'm so scared. What if Uncle Bob sees my ad? This is so embarrassing. I have to face him at Christmas. Anybody thought that before? Please, don't let me see anybody who knows me on the internet. It's so embarrassing. But Ashley could be like, oh man, this is something's wrong with the way people are thinking. This is or she could say, oh, this is so perfect for them. I get to teach them how to target. I get to teach them how to target, that they can get famous in the right niche, not with Uncle Bob. We don't need Uncle Bob, but the right people know them. This is perfect. Do you see how excited, like, I want y'all to just be hungry for objections and be excited to make them mean whatever you want them to mean, okay? So can everyone just say, I love objections? I love objections. Okay, thank you. Do y'all actually love them? Okay. So Ashley told me, she's like, hey, you have 30 minutes to teach people how to handle objections. I'm like, okay, well, that might be impossible. So I can't teach like the whole, how to handle every objection and all the techniques and all the ways. But I thought, okay, if I had to pick one technique that is the biggest ROI that could change the game for them today, what would that be? Are y'all ready? Can I teach it to you today? Clarifying questions. Someone say clarifying questions. Clarifying questions. All a clarifying question is questions you ask to make sure you know what someone means. That's all it is. Questions you ask to make sure you know what someone means. So what many people do is they hear an objection or they hear a question. So they might, someone asks a question, how much time does this take? And you just answer it. Or, hey, honey, what time are you going to be home? And you just answer the question. And I know you're like, well, Macy, the answer won't change. Why won't I just answer it? I want you to stop and think, why are they asking that question? There's a reason someone is asking that, yes? Okay. So even with any kind of statement too, which we're going to talk about in just a second, any statement that someone says, I want you to think, why on earth are they saying that? Because someone put a rock in their bag, experiences put a rock in their bag, past failures, like whatever, and you want to know, where is that coming from? So how do objections come? They come in two ways. They come in the form of questions, and they come in the form of statements. So let's start with a question. Here's a couple examples. How much time does it take? When are the calls? When is the start date? Do y'all see that those could be objections? Or is this the first time that you see this? Have you never thought about them as objections? How many of you have never thought about those as objections before? Never? It's crazy, right? But there's a reason why they're asking. And I want to show you like exactly what to ask and then give you some examples of how this plays out. When someone asks you a question, you're going to ask this, a form of this. Ready? Why do you ask? Repeat it. Ready? Why do you ask? Hey, that's such a great question. I'm curious, is there a reason why you're asking? I just want to make sure that hey, honey, what time are you going to be home? Hey, I'm going to be home at 3 p.m. Well, this is a little bit different, but hey, I'm going to be home at 3. Is there a reason why you're asking? Oh, an Amazon delivery guy is coming. I want to make sure that you're going to be there to sign off. Oh, perfect. I'll be there. Do you see you can answer the root, not the question? Okay, so let's do an example, okay? How much time does this take? Now, this sounds kind of aggressive. Is there a reason why you're asking? I want you to notice my tone, okay? Hey, how much time does this take? Hey, I'd love to answer that for you, but I'm curious, just to make sure I'm answering your question properly, is there a reason why you're asking? By the way, people love to talk about themselves. So they're going to be like, finally, a spotlight is on me. Someone cares about me. They love it. How many of you feel like I don't want to be intrusive? Anybody think that? No? Y'all? Okay. People want to talk about themselves, so give them the spotlight, and it helps you win so much better. So here are some possible answers. Ready? Well, I'm going to grad school and building a business, so I want to make sure that I can handle the load. That could be one answer. What's another type of answer? I just quit my job to go all in on my business, and I want to make sure that this program is really structured and robust, so I'm filling my time well. I just got a new job. I got a 90-minute commute. I want to make sure that I'm spending my time really well in that car. Do you see how the time doesn't change, but the way that you frame your answer might change based on their response? Do you see that? Say yes? Okay, so let's just play with some of the responses, shall we? Okay. So they said, I'm going to I'm going to grad school and I just really want to make sure that I can handle it all. Hey, oh, that's so exciting. Congratulations, by the way. See a little compliment? People love to be complimented. This is so exciting, congratulations. So this is gonna take 2 hours a week for the first 8 weeks, and then about an hour a week for the rest of the year. What this means for you is that you can really easily fit this into your new schedule of grad school and your new job. Do you see? We're framing it for them. I quit my job to go all in on my business. Oh, that's so exciting, congratulations. So this is actually a 3-phase program that is specifically designed for you to master the skill of selling. So by the end of this program, you can feel really confident about your accomplishment and knowing that you've mastered this skill. Same program, I'm not changing the program, I'm just changing the framing of the program based on what they said. Does that make sense? Say yes. I got a new job, 90-minute commute. Okay, by the way, how many of you talk about you are so fired up about your features? You're like, you get an event, and you get this, and you get that, and you get this. Anybody? I know I'm obsessed with my offer, so I could talk about it all day long. But one of the things that we have is a private podcast. I don't really talk about it that often because it only is really valuable to certain people, and to this person right here, it'd be perfect. Hey, well, good news for you, there's a private podcast so you can easily learn and repeat the material on your drive to work every day. Is this making sense? Okay, let's talk about how objections also come in statements. This is what you're probably used to, right? Say yes if you're used to this. What is the biggest objection you get? Call it out. Talk to husband. Okay, but what are they saying exactly? When you say cost, what are they saying? Not in the budget, too expensive. Exactly, okay. Not the right time. Okay, cool. Maybe we can do a little practice if we have time. So that's too expensive. That won't work for me. My kids are too young. When you hear this, there is something underneath that's making them say those things. So you're going to ask a clarifying question. Someone say clarifying question. Here are a couple options. Oh, tell me more about that. It's literally that simple. Tell me more. Oh, really? What makes you say that? Okay, so let's play some of these out. Ready? It's too expensive. How many of you would be scared to say, tell me more about why you say it's too expensive? Just wave at me. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, a few people. What makes you scared? Will you just shout it out? Huh? You don't know? Okay, that's interesting. Okay. You don't want to hear about their drama, yeah? Their dirty laundry? Okay. Feels intrusive? Okay. So what's intrusive is the tone. This is why I love a voice memo. Because the tone, we don't want to be interrogative. We want to be so fascinated and so curious. My opinion, listen, ain't nothing that's too expensive. I can sell my way out of anything, baby. So I'm like, why do you think? I'm so curious. What makes you say that? So the tone is oh, it's too expensive. Do you mind telling me a little bit more about what makes you say it's expensive? Why do you say that? Here are a couple of option of responses. Ready? Oh, I never spent that much money on this problem. Or they could say, I've spent so much already. I can't spend any more. Two totally different ways of thinking. One's already used to spending a bunch of money, and one has never even done it, which, hello, that might be the actual problem because you've never spent any money on the problem, so you still have the problem. Or I'm getting a divorce. It's okay, well, I can't do anything about your divorce, but I can definitely uncover and show you that your business is the very thing to keep stable while you are going through a divorce. Amen? So let's just talk about some things. Okay, someone says, I've never spent spend this much money on it before. You could ask just another clarifying question. Oh, really? What have you done to solve this problem? They might say, I've never tried anything, or they might say, I've tried all free stuff, I've tried YouTube videos, and you get to show them that a paid expert is not the same thing as a free YouTube video. I've spent so much and I haven't even solved this problem. Okay, hey, tell me exactly what you did, what you invested in to try to solve this problem. So crazy, we have a mastermind, and it's $75,000. And I was on a call with a girl. This is why it's so important to ask clarified questions. I was on this call, and she was perfect fit, all the things. And she was like, I just invested in something that was $25,000. And so I feel like I'm trying to recover from it. I said, oh, really? Tell me more about what you invested in. Just tell me what you were learning and what you were trying to solve. She said, well, I invested to learn how to do a master class. I said, that's amazing. Did you do one? She said, yes. I said, that's amazing. How did it go? She's like, well, I got 10 sales. I said, that's amazing. What offer did you sell? She ended up making $30,000. But she has this rock in her bag that shouldn't be there, making her think that it wasn't worth it. I'm like, hey, you pay $25,000. you learn the play, you make the money back, and now you have the play forever and ever and amen that you just rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. That's actually how the investing game works. You know that, right? She literally just didn't see it. She was in her own dirty laundry, in her own dirty laundry, making up all these stories about how it didn't work when it literally did. She just didn't even do the math. And so when you ask these clarifying questions, you help people kind of separate, okay, the drama and the actual math of what's going on here. Does this make sense? Say yes? Okay. And then like for the divorce, like, listen, I'm not going to talk about someone's divorce either. You better believe I'm not stepping in that hornet's nest. What I am going to say is, hey, I'm so sorry about your divorce. Like, I'm going to be praying for you. Thank you for sharing that with me. Do you feel like it's really affecting your business? How, and if yes, how so? Like, I just want to redirect and see what are her thoughts about her business so I can show her, hey, your business is actually the thing that's going to help you get through this divorce as effectively as possible. Does this make sense? Okay, I want to give y'all a couple more clarifying questions let's do one more actually. Okay, this won't work for me. Can you tell me more about why you say that? Okay, someone could say, I don't have enough experience, like I'm too young. And then someone else could say, I'm too old. Does anyone know Craig Rochelle? He's a pastor. He was like, my whole first part of being a pastor, I always thought I was too young. And then one day, I thought I was too old. There was never a season where I was like, yeah, this is the age, I'm just right. Like everyone is always thinking, I'm either too young or I'm too old. In my mind, I was thinking someone was selling like content. I do so much better in person rather than online. Really? Have you ever posted online? Probably not. Probably not. Like people don't even see their limitations. How cool is this that we get to show it to them? My industry is way too niche. What's your industry? Like literally asking a clarifying question, because when you start to uncover what's underneath, you see, oh, this is actually so easy to handle. But what most of you are doing, you're so worried about selling instead of understanding. Anybody feel that way a little bit? You get a lead and you're like, how can I sell them versus how can I see if they're a good fit? Two very different mindsets. So I want to give you a couple more clarifying questions that I think are really, really going to help you, and they're my favorite. Number one, have them define words that they say. Your brain really, it creates meaning with associations. And so you want to be sure that you're pulling from their brain, not your brain. So for example, if I were to say the word discipline, like, oh, she's very disciplined, I would think she's very strong, she's very structured, and what a role model. But other people might hear the word disciplined and think punishment. They might think, what else would someone think about? Rigid, strict. Like, I don't want to be that. So we just want to be like, hey, I don't want to pull from my brain. I want to pull exactly from your brain. Like, people will tell me all the time, oh, I'm working on my marketing. What is marketing? Literally, what is it? We could have a billboard. We could go door to door. We could have pamphlets. We could do paid advertising. Like, what is marketing? Have them define words. I know for me in my sales presentations, I will sit there and define the word persuade and beat it like a dead horse until we are all on the same page, picturing the same thing about the same word. So just have them, so things like, if someone says, yeah, it's been a year of growth. What is growth? It could be the sales are up, or I've been really challenged this year and I've personally grown a lot. Have them define what exactly that they're saying, okay? Do y'all ever have people who say, I don't know a lot? You know, it's like, hey, so what do you think the problem is? I don't know. What are your sales? I don't know. I don't know. Their brain, your brain really wants to conserve energy. And so when it doesn't naturally know an answer, your brain is trying to conserve energy for itself, and they just step back and it just says, I don't know. And you just kind of like turn on your back and you're like, I don't know the answer. Oh, this is just so hard. And you feel sorry for yourself, right? So my favorite thing, I was just in a conversation and I could tell someone was not enjoying the conversation, okay? She was a little tense and uneasy. And I said, hey, what's going on for you right now? She's like, oh, I don't know. And I said this right here, if you had to know, what would it be? If you had to know what's going on right now in your mind and in your heart, what would it be? And the floodgates opened. And she just said all the stuff that was going on that I had no idea was there, all these rocks in her bag that I was able to help uncover and help her take inventory. This is great to do with your spouse. This is great to do with your kids. If you had to know the one thing, what would it be? And lastly, have them answer their own questions. I was coaching one of my clients. She helps people write books. And the prospect that she was talking to, he was saying, people ask me all the time, I'm gonna call him Bill. People ask me all the time, Bill, where's your book? Bill, where's your book? Bill, where's your book? And he said, and I asked myself the same thing, where's my book? Where is it? And she asked him the question, she goes, why don't you answer that for me? Where is your book? Why haven't you written it yet? And he said, honestly, I know that I could easily do this in 10 minutes with ChatGPT. And I'm trying to decide if I want to actually do the work or if I want to use ChatGPT. Hello, objection. He just answered his own question. So anytime someone is like, I know I can do this, but something is holding me back, I'm not sure what it is. Okay, why don't you try to answer that for me? What is holding you back? And they'll say, I don't know. Then what do you say? If you had to know, what would it be? Uncover the objection. And now you actually know what to handle. Now you're in control. Now you're making sure you're not talking about something random that isn't even in their mind. Objections are like mushrooms. If they're in the dark, they spread and they get bigger. If they're in the light, you can kill them. So we got to get them in the light so we can handle them. Does that make sense? Yes? Cool. All right, let's do a Q&A. How's that sound?